Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience Fort Worth Invitational picks preview. We'll be getting to the Euro BMW PGA a little bit later on. Geoff Fienberg in studio with me. Good week. At least I had a good week.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I don't know, another...
You hit a gimmick Euro winner?
Gimmick Euro winner, saved some bacon. Second, third, fourth, fifth places.
Yeah, I did. At one point I was looking at Fantasy National now has like live stats that you can just look at strokes gained while the tournament's going along. And it has the live leaderboard. And I had second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth in my DK lineups. No Aaron Wise! A bit of a bummer on that one.
Yeah, and Wise, I mean, there had been some big numbers for a bit. The books weren't fooled. He was dropped to, that 35?
Yeah.
To 1 last week. That's probably a real sour taste in the mouth. A lot of people that continuously backed Wise, and I get why you would drop off when the number drops so hard, but...
Well, it's one of those things where in February he was 200 to 1.
Yeah.
And then 35, nah. And I did the classic, really overthought things and tried to get too tricky on DK. So instead of using Wise, I used Snedeker a lot in that spot, who missed the cut. Or I just used Rory Sabatini, who was fine, but having Aaron Wise would have been a pretty profitable day. Some people hit big, though, this week. So I wrote some down here. Also, if you're following along with the BMW PGA over in Europe this week, stacked field at Wentworth. Give Ashley Morrison a follow. He's going to be on the grounds, and that's at Ashley Morrison on Twitter. 2 R's, 2 S's. So watch out for that double S. It might catch you up. So some winners that just straight up just tweeted at me. Screenshots of a great week that they ended up having. Van Ziegler, K. Jong Ilmatic, Wheel 59, Wranglos Chris, John Deere 22, Buckeye Humor this week, cashed $10K. Third in the $4 event. That's amazing. He said he was having stress sigs the entire time. WKJ2 had his first top 5 ever in a GPP. That was in the $3. Gup had a gigantic week, as he tends to do. So gupscorner.com. You might want to go check all of them out in the Smash Factor podcast. And at Toe Taggin Tambo. Again, just cleaning up. Hit a Euro winner. Hit Mitchell and Spawn on the top 5s over here. And then he won 2 seats into the the Fantasy Golf World Championships on DraftKings, almost $25K in winnings on DraftKings last week. And he put up, he played a ton of lineups and put in a bunch of entries, so it was probably like a 5x ROI, something like that. And then someone did the classic, well, if you're going to play 150 lineups, of course you're going to win. And all I told that guy was, then why don't you do it?
Yeah. You don't, though.
I hate that argument so much. I mean, I don't do it because I can't afford to do it. I mean, that's just not within my bankroll to do it. But if it's so easy to do, just go take out a loan and do it. It's the simplest thing in the world. You have 150 lives, of course you're going to win.
Yeah. Well, it would only take you, 2-3 tournaments before you hit a big one.
Of course. Yeah. No skill.
Just keep doubling up and you'll get it.
Yeah, watch out for those weeks when you don't end up winning the World Championship tickets and don't come really high in the GPPs and you just lose 10K. See how much you like that. See how easy it is all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, I always think that's stupid. But Colonial was fun. Good betting week. I really wish I hadn't been a coward. And it's weird. I wish I had been more of a coward and hedged with Wise with Leishman. He was plus 162 going into the day. And I was just then the weather delay got to me. And then I got a case of the greeds. I saw him at 162, didn't hedge. He was even money after he had taken the lead, didn't hedge. He got to minus 110, then I was I'll just wait for Leishman to make a birdie. It'll be even, I'll hedge, and Aaron Wise just ran away with it, man.
At even money...
I should have done it.
I had no intentions of hedging. Got the Euro winner early, no intentions. The day didn't start right. Even when I don't hedge, Pat, me saying I'm not hedging, I'll tell you this. I'm always getting back my week investment, and I'm usually trying to make next week free. When I'm in the position that we were in with Leishman.
It's just let the
when I say I'm hedging, that means I'm hedging, a big I'm trying to recoup 35-40% maybe of what Leishman could pay. When I'm not hedging, I'm still taking back or at least trying to free roll next week's tournament.
Yeah, and just see if Leishman can come back and do whatever. But it ended up being pretty good. I mean, Leishman have won with no hedge, it would have been the best week of the year by far. Because I hit Mitchell top 5, Spawn top 5, Tway top 10. The head-to-heads were good. First round later, I had 4 guys inside the top 5. For some 3 of them like split up each way. Spawn got a full each way. So it was all over it. Just Grace and Leishman couldn't pull it off because Aaron Wise is unstoppable. It was reminiscent of Bowditch at Byron Nelson like 4 years ago when Jimmy Walker was right with him. It's like, oh, Jimmy Walker's definitely going to win this. And all of a sudden, Bowditch just hits every single drive into the fairway and is lights out the entire day. Aaron Wise was lights out. Every shot.
I didn't see a ton of it because it was entertaining, but I never saw him in trouble. And even when you look at, even tracking, although the phone was a bit of a joke.
Yeah, the shot tracker yesterday. It eventually caught up.
But every time it's like, okay, like, I don't know, 18-footer, 17-footer, 22-footer. Like, okay, hopefully he's not going to make that. We could stay one back. Nope. Just kept making them all. Killer instinct. Crushed it.
We should have seen it coming.
Yes.
After what he did at Quail and didn't fold down the stretch, they just beat him. And then even that up and down he had at 18 on Quail Hollow was like, holy shit. Like, it's pretty impressive stuff. He didn't even need to go to that bag of tricks this week. He was just middle of the fairway every time, killing it off the tee like he does, and just hitting everything to, like you said, 15 to 20 feet, either 1 putting or 2 putting, no danger.
Under 40 to 1 last week went with Grace and Leishman for the reasons I still feel I was right.
I mean, they did come second and third.
I just trusted them. Like, the new course, the field, I mean, it kind of, I don't know, it all kind of worked out, though.
I like that course.
The field sucked. The course. I said it was like as if Chambers Bay and
Aaron Hills
sort of got together.
I think if you cranked up the rough there, it would make a pretty compelling U.S. Open course, potentially. You got to shrink the fairways a little bit, or you get another Aaron Hills situation on your hand.
There were bogeys, but you had to work really hard to make like a double there.
Yes. Unless you put it in that like crap that Leishman found himself in on the par 5.
Or you missed like the 2-footer, like, I don't know, trying to clean up like Walker did.
Yes, Spieth missed one from like 1 foot.
All week last week, whether Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, as if I thought the math would change, I stared at making a Spieth parlay. But I was still at like 4 gamers, and it was like 18 to 1. I'm like, I'm not doing this. So I guess, thankfully, I didn't.
I don't know what's going on with his putting. I know we almost say it every single week.
Okay, because I pick out unfairly. This week, is this like the litmus test?
This would be a good one, I think.
Like, if it doesn't...
We're back on bent grass.
If it doesn't start to click here, like, we're still going to glad hand this BS?
I mean, we'll get to the odds in a second, but I think that we're going to stop seeing the 9 to 1, 8 to 1 numbers.
And I get why he's the favorite this week, and it's funny because it's almost not double, but it's like almost 40% up from where it was a week ago.
Well, the field is around 7,000% stronger this week than it was last week.
It's a fantastic field.
And it's a course fit for him, too.
Yeah, that's why, again, I only bring out litmus tests in a way that it is, because it is a course fit.
Well, I wrote up Spieth in my column this week on DK Playbook. And it's funny, if you just remove the name Jordan Spieth from the results that he's posted in his last 4 turns, you'd be like, hey, he's riding good form right now. 2 T3s. I don't think anything worse than like a T24 or something like that made him look at.
That's fine, but he's not 20 to 1. He's not 22 to 1.
No.
He's not, you're paying a premium, whether it be in the DraftKings or, to bet him. He can still salvage being in your lineups, though. He does. Sure,
but this is the entire thing that we talk about with a lot of these guys. I mean, people were betting Adam Scott at 22 to 1 last week, and he can't putt. And Spieth's better.
I'm tempted, though.
I'm not.
No, I'm always tempted, and I feel like if the Kraken is finally going to crack, it has to be here. But again, there's a couple names nibbling behind that if I actually was going to play here, I wouldn't. But I need you to remind me and everybody about what it takes, because it seems like there's a consistent type of player that we see winning at Colonial.
This is true. This was a winning spot for me last year with Kevin Kisner. Held off Jordan Spieth on Sunday, held off John Rahm on Sunday, and it was weird. It was one of those Kisner wins. You're like, oh, yeah, Kevin Kisner. This is the perfect course for Kevin Kisner. But before we do that, did you see the Wise go in for the kiss with his girlfriend and then just get rejected?
That's pretty weird.
It was pretty funny.
What's up with that?
I don't know. He just cashed like $1.4 million. Oh, there was something stupid that I did this week. on the show, we picked Leishman for your one and done and Grace for my one and done. And when I entered my one and done into the thing, I screwed it up. Because I put Grace on the team, like I have 2 teams in it, and one of the teams is doing well that I usually stick with like a top 5 player in the field with, and I fucked it up and got them mixed up. So I had Grayson Murray on my good team and Grace on my bad team. Idiot.
Paul's in 3rd place.
Paul is in 3rd place.
3rd place.
So he's absorbing the information and using it properly, is what he's doing.
He's absorbing information from around the community, and he's consistent in the approach that I kind of stressed.
He doesn't take Paul, do you take any losers in your one and done?
No! Sorry.
Adam Hadwin's the biggest loser.
Adam Hadwin's the biggest loser
you've taken all year. He doesn't get fancy ever. Like I said in the preview shows, you just put that pedal down and go. There's like, 30, 35, 38 events. Guys appear. Aaron Wise, Paul never would have thought about using him. If Paul's got to use him in the playoffs and he's in 4th place, who gives a shit?
I agree. I still do it. I still get too fancy and do
I get losers. I'm still like taking Grillo like 2 weeks ago. Like, he's a great player, and we're going to both talk him up this week, but I've taken way too many guys who aren't top 30 players in the world. And I get you got to get fancy at some point. There's not everyone's there, but if you're just really smart at just keeping that pedal down, I don't know.
And we're only like halfway through the year. So no one's won anything and no one's really lost anything yet. You hit like 2 winners in 4 weeks. You're going to be inside the top 10 more than likely. So, Colonial. We go from a shit field at a new course to a super strong field that one of the oldest courses on tour. And you kind of brought it up to begin with. There is a similar theme to some of the winners that we've seen. Kevin Kisner last year. Jordan Spieth has been a winner here. Zach Johnson's won multiple times. Steve Stricker has won. Boo Weekly. Ball striking sensation. Boo Weekly. Accuracy. Accuracy and irons. That's what you want this week.
We got a jacket here, don't we?
Oh yeah, it's the final leg of the Texas swing, and you also get a tartan jacket like the one that you get. I don't quite understand why they both give out basically the same jacket. Boo Weekly has both, though.
Someone is going to tweet us and tell us how distinctly different they are.
Oh, sure. That's great. Yeah, go nuts. So, key-wise, I actually went back, Fantasy National. It's a really cool feature that I think that people don't really use. It's on the main page. It's just course breakdown. If you go into course breakdown for Colonial, you can sort it by the winner, like what the winner's average stats are over the past 6 years kind of thing, or the top 5, or the top 10, or just people who make the cut. And it's strokes gained approach matters every single week. Like, it's probably the most important of the strokes gained metric, but it's been 3 times as valuable as strokes gained off the tee here. Among the guys who come inside the top 10, that distribution lends itself to guys that just make the cut as well. And it's 5 times more important than strokes gained around the green, which I thought was surprising. Because these are really tiny greens, but it's not a long course. So it's not like you're hitting 225-yard approaches. You're hitting like 150 approaches and just trying to stick it and make some putts. Putting's been super important, and I think that the names that I listed off, what's the other common thing that those guys do? They all putt well.
Yes, and something else about them, they all putt well, and for the most part, career-wise, historically, they're very consistent putters. Yes, Jordan is in a dip, and I guess they all have dips, Pat. But not to sort of pick a hot name with a low number just out of the hat here, but what you don't see is like your very good ball striker who kind of just got hot that week. The winners here that you mentioned, I mean, Boo Weekly, but they're all like...
Boo was good at one point.
They're all historically great putters.
Yes.
Career-wise, very rare do they have a dip. Again, going back to this Jordan thing, it's its own anomaly, which if you're a fan or you want to play him, you got to sort of handle on your own and your trust level in... 180th in the world just flipping for you to win a golf tournament?
Which, I mean, if there's one stat that's going to flip, that's a stat.
That's a stat. And if he hits everything within 4 feet, he's going off. I'm not saying he's winning, but he's going off in like the final 3 groups on Sunday.
Yes.
If he hits everything that these guys should be hitting at the crazy percentages that the make rate there.
Well, considering Johnny Miller said that Tiger Woods should be making 98% of his 8-foot putts, you'd think that Jordan can make 1,000,000% of his 3-foot putts, which has not been the case so far. Just course history-wise, if you're looking at guys that have gained a lot of strokes here, top 10 in strokes gained total over the past 5 years. Spieth, Kisner, Kuchar, Danny Lee, who's heating up right now, Webb Simpson, Brian Harmon, David Lingmerth, Chris Stroud, Ryan Palmer, Chris Kirk, Charlie Hoffman, Duffner, Brandt Snedeker, and your main man, Harris English. It's like Zach Johnson, Ben Martin, Chad Campbell, Johnny Rahm, who's only played it once. Came second.
That's the first thing you said to me today is could be a Harris week.
Could be. I probably won't be on him, but it could be a Harris week.
I don't know if you mean like to win, but
he could just be there at some
show
point.
Up Maybe he's pulling deservedly pulling plus triple digits.
I think that when you look for like corollary courses for this, I mean, a lot of these, like this field is so strong that a lot of these guys don't play those other courses, but Heritage, RSM, you want to look at like Sony, John Deere.
I do hate when we get
Valspar,
in these situations where the corollary courses
are scrub fields.
It's like, okay, but Ricky and Rahm and Rose, they're not there.
That's fair.
How do you quantify?
You don't. You just assume that they're really good and they'll just play well.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's what you do with those guys. But it's the other ones, like the style of player that you're looking for. Like, there's a reason Webb Simpson and Kuchar play well here. This is basically, it's not a Pete Dye course, but it is a Pete Dye course. It just doesn't have the funky stuff to screw up.
It's like a poor man's Pete Dye course.
It's a short course, narrow fairways. Driving distance means absolutely nothing this week, but the Bombers will get a huge spike in accuracy because they're not going to be hitting driver.
Yes, and to the overall, I feel, strategy that I've seen with drivers, and a lot of them have acknowledged it publicly this year, and by drivers, I mean your really big hitters, your Roms, your DJs. I feel like multiple occasions this year, whether it be post-round interviews or whatever, Rom specifically has acknowledged, like, he's just going. Like, it's like, I get that some courses aren't driver courses, but I'll just flick a wedge from 56 yards.
Yep.
And enough of them will stick within 5 feet. I'll make enough 20-footers, and I'll make very few bogeys.
Yes.
As long as I'm not hitting it into real trouble, I will get on my greens and reg. And that seems to be the overarching theme. In the past, I feel we'd seen these really elite drivers play to courses. Now it seems like everywhere Rahm goes, and I expect Brooks to kind of be the same this week, I'm just playing to my strengths at all times.
I like it. I'm just going to look up here. Fairways gained is a stat that I'm using this week that I put into my model. It's a Fantasy National stat. And it weighs the amount of fairways that you hit versus the field instead of just pure driving accuracy. Like, the way that I kind of described it in the column is like, yeah, hitting 65% of fairways here is not really the same as hitting 65% of fairways at Kapalua or last week. You know what I mean? Like, people hit 90% of fairways last week. It was an aircraft carrier lander. Like, it was...
As long as you didn't get in a bunker or the native area, making a bogey felt impossible.
Yes.
Yeah. Or just...
But this week, if you get off the fairway, like, you're going to be screwed. That's what we've seen over the years. So fairways gained over driving accuracy, which I just think is a flawed stat. It's just a running total. And even strokes gained off the tee. I think looking at fairways gained with strokes gained off the tee to sort of include a lot of the Bombers into that mix, unless you sort by courses themselves, I think that's probably the way that you want to go about it. But let's get into the odds. We have Jordan Spieth, 9-1. John Rahm, 14-1. Rose, 18. Webb Simpson, 18. Ricky Fowler, 20. Webb Simpson, better odds than Ricky Fowler. Kuchar, 25. Walker, 28. Scott, 28. Aaron Wise, 28. And Patrick Cantlay, 30-1. When I first opened up the odds this week, I didn't even touch one of those guys. My first wager was on someone deeper down the board who was egregiously mispriced.
Who?
Brooks Koepka is 33-1. He should be 14-1 in this field.
I haven't bet him, but he's got a star. So he's on the short list of being thought of. I've made 2 bets so far. Nobody under 50 at this point, but there's a lot of stars under 50. So I got to figure this out. The first thing that takes me away, which maybe I should have mentioned off the top, is it's embarrassing. I don't know who's responsible for this, and I know things come together late, But for this field to not have a sponsor
is weird, right?
Is pathetic. And someone should lose their job. I could have found these guys a sponsor. Look at who's here. You said this is like one of the best non-major WGC players. You know, your Memorials, your Bay Hill type prestigious.
Yeah. Well, that's probably something to note as well. It is an invitational like Bay Hill, like Memorial, like the National, like the Heritage. Only 121 players in the field. Same cut rules. So
it's a DraftKings note, though.
But just, it's a smaller field, just overall.
Still, like, as these guys are committing, you can't get somebody to pony up, one of your corporate sponsors who's already involved in the tour.
At one of the most classic courses there
RBC sponsors 2 events with egregious fields compared to this.
Yeah.
Why don't you just sign up for a third and get this field and get your guys to come and you have like the best event? I don't know. I know there's more into it. There's like sales guys watching or like you're an idiot.
Yeah, and you can't just be like, hey, for $5,000 sponsor our tournament. You can't create that market either.
No, I get it. And there's only but come on. This was Dean and DeLuca, right? So this one's been through the ringer. But this field is fantastic.
It was the Crown Plaza at one point.
Like that was like a fancy grocery store, right?
No, Crown Plaza.
No, I know that's a hotel.
Yeah.
Dean and DeLuca.
I believe Dean and DeLuca's paint.
No, that's Valspar.
I think they're both paint.
No, Dean and DeLuca was like
gourmet food.
Like high end, like higher than, I don't know if people laugh, like much higher than Whole Foods even, like level grocery, it seems.
Well, Whole Foods seems to be sort of like the chain version. Because
I remember last year, like Cam and Gabe just like went through, it's like $100 cheese plates.
Upmarket realtor carrying specialty foods, including prepared dishes, plus home and kitchen items. Okay. Dean and DeLuca. See, they're still getting their money's worth.
I guess. So I don't know. Obviously, this event's been through the ringer, and you know why they don't have a sponsor? Sorry, it's just coming back to me. Because this thing might be extinct or moved.
It's not becoming extinct. It's going to be moved. But this Colonial's not going away. It's been on tour every year. It's been in rotation on tour every year since 1940, I think. The 10th oldest tournament, like consecutive tournament on tour.
So yeah, after this, you read off all the guys inside 30-1, and I'm still taken away by no sponsor for these players. Brooks does seem strong. Cantley. Oh, here's the thing. Let's stick on Brooks for a second.
Okay.
I thought his Players Championship, outside of that 117th hole, like he literally had an exceptional 71 of 72 holes. He's the type of player who people always like to bring up course fit, but he's so elite that like even if there's trouble kind of everywhere, and I know you could say this about any of these elite players, when Brooks is on, I don't care what type of course it is. He just seems to work it anywhere.
I agree. Like, I don't think that just it has to be a bomber's track for Brooks to win. Like, he won in Phoenix. Phoenix is actually one of the ones with some of the slimmer fairways on tour. I know it's Bermuda grass, bent grass, but he's played well there. He played well with Byron Nelson when he was at the shorter course at TPC 4 Seasons. Like,
Byron Nelson
played well at the Players, which is a somewhat similar track to this.
Yeah, there's a lot more landmines.
Yeah,
but it doesn't
which is great for Brooks. Fewer landmines, great.
No, and I agree. And people are like, I don't know, there's landmines. I don't like playing Brooks. Again, when Brooks is hitting it well off the tee, I don't care what layout it is. He's And I think, I have a Brooks U.S. Open bet, so part of me feels obligated to protect it.
Well, what'd you bet?
We're that close.
Yeah, but what did you bet Brooks at for the U.S. Open? 45?
Yeah.
And you can bet him in this field at 33? Why wouldn't you bet him here?
You're making strong cases. How many starts is he going to have between now and the U.S. Open, you think?
This is probably it.
Would he go to Memorial? Maybe not.
Maybe. I don't know what the field is for Memorial. Oh, just to let everyone know, next week I'm on vacation, so no Memorial show. Sorry. There will be new shows coming out next week, just no Memorial. We'll be back for St. Jude and then U.S. Open. So I doubt maybe he plays St. Jude.
I can't believe it's actually that. Yeah, he plays St. Jude.
So yeah, he'll play there.
Yeah, okay. Brooks seems strong. If you were to go any lower, no one, like Rom played really well.
Oh yeah, listen. I'm not making the case against anyone below. It's just I looked at this sheet and I was like, Brooks Koepka's 33-1. Is Brooks Koepka a better player than Patrick Cantlay? Yes. Is he better than Aaron Wise? Yes. Is he better than Adam Scott? Yes. Is he better than Jimmy Walker? Yes. Is he better than Matt Kuchar? Yes. Is he better than Ricky Fowler? Yes. Is he better than Webb Simpson?
Yeah.
Yes. He's the third or fourth best player in this field. Spieth, Rahm, Rose, Brooks. That's the top four.
Yeah, let me just sort
Maybe if you want to argue Ricky into that case, sure. I'm open to it.
The week before the Players, we played him. What event was that?
The other one in Texas. Valero, I want to say.
How did he do?
Yeah,
I know it was the first
he made the cut.
My point, like Brooks Brooks is a foreign player, and I know he's battled injuries, but you see it like when it's off, it's like off, and you don't want to touch it. When it's on, like just stay on, because he always seems to ride his form. If you look at his history, strong events seem to piggyback each other. There's someone else doing triple digits with a similar story. But
yeah, we'll get to him.
Obviously, not Brooks's high-end skill set. Of the very top of the board, I think Ricky Fowler screams.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
One of the first things I said when I came in here talking to Paul. Paul's like, Webb Simpson's cheaper. I was like, wow. Like, we're here.
I kind of like Ricky this week. I like Rose, too.
Nah, I'm more into Ricky. What's his U.S. Open number?
Who?
You just did the joke about Brooks in the U.S. Open.
What's whose number?
Ricky's 16-1.
I don't know. I don't have it up. I have this shit memorized.
Well, I'm just saying it's probably the exact same or less.
Yeah, just from a value perspective, he seems good. Like Rose, if you're just confident in Spieth, his last 3 starts at this course, second, first, second. So that's pretty good. Rahm, 14-1. As long as he doesn't play the third round at the Players, I think that he's doing fine. Rose, you can make a case for Rose anywhere. Webb, maybe he keeps it going. Ricky, you just know the talent is there that he can go through it. You can make a case for any of these guys. So do you just gravitate towards the best value? Like, I don't understand this Kuchar, Walker, Scott, Wise, Cantlay tier. Like, I don't understand their odds compared to everyone else. I get that they're good players. I'm not saying that they can't win. I just don't get it. Like, why they're that. Like, who's betting Jimmy Walker at 28-1 when you can have Brooks at 33? Who?
No comment.
And I like Jimmy Walker. He's been playing really well.
Really well. No. I don't trust him. Sort of the reason I liked him last weekend. I went with those other guys.
Three straight top tens for Jimmy Walker. Ricky Fowler at.
How many putts?
Ricky Fowler's actually 18-1 to win the U.S. Open. He's 20-1 to win this tournament. Brooks is the same. Yeah, it's weird. Webb is 50-1 to win the U.S. Open, 18-1 to win this week.
I don't know. Can you buy? I guess he could be.
Well, Webb's played well here before. If he's putting well, then he can run away with this. This course suits him perfectly.
It suits any player with the Webb Simpson skill set who will get hot with the putter. They will run away with this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys like that. A player we both really like is kind of very much like that. We just need him to get hot with the putter because I don't see him off the green very much ever. That's for another tier, though. I could be a sucker for Cantlay, though. I'm not going to lie.
His short game has really improved. He is Andrew cursed.
Oh.
Makes you feel bad, does it?
No, I just try to defend that. Like, when I still want to pick a guy, I'm like, well, what goes into him making that pick anyway?
Nothing. He saw the name and he picked it. And put his voodoo on him.
There's a little that goes into it.
He had never heard of Bo Hostler before he picked him last week. He saw the name, liked the name. He was like, I'm picking Bo Hostler. There's
no way he fits your narrative perfectly, is that...
Who? Cantlay?
No, Haas, like, you may... Your thing with Haas, like, people only like him because of his name.
And he was playing a little bit better, and every time you go to Texas, he's in Texas. You got to pick Bo Hostler. Bo Hostler's probably a better pick this week than he was last week, but that's for more honest. Cantlay, yeah. Listen, Cantlay's played well at Valspar. The short game has rapidly improved. I don't see why he can't be a factor here.
No one is better on tour than I get to open, and I know he did this a couple times but consistently, no one is like 2 under through 2 to start an event like this guy.
Cantlay?
Yeah, just ready to go.
He played well at Players. He played well at Heritage. Not a great week, but he couldn't.
He was going to win Players until Friday afternoon web.
Yeah, so did I. I thought Rom was going to be in the mix too, and then Saturday happened. But Cantlay, I think, is pretty good here. There's 3 of them in this second range.
Bryson continues to
it's
play
Bryson.
well. Didn't Bryson play very well again? He just shot himself in the foot in the first round, or that was Valero, where he almost pulled the Poulter. Not almost, but he was so bad in the first round.
That was Heritage. It was Heritage. He took that quadruple bogey on Saturday, and then he ended up coming 3rd anyway.
And he played well again. He keeps playing fine.
Yeah, Bryson's good. Who's the better player, Cantlay or Bryson? Your heart wants to say Cantlay.
Might say Bryson.
But why isn't it Bryson?
I might say Bryson. I like them both. I like Berg. This is strong range.
Well, it's weird because you have Cantlay at 30, Brooks at 33, Duffner at 33, Charles at 35, Bryson at 35, Zach Johnson at 35, Scheifele at 40, Hadley at 45, Kisner at 45. Then it gets into Griot.
Doesn't Charles, I know he had a hot Players for a bit of a couple weeks. He's taken a crazy odds board.
Yeah, he was 90-1 a month ago.
He's flying up this odds board for someone that didn't do what, say, Aaron Wise or Webb Simpson did.
Yeah, he's had 2, I believe it's top 5s in a row. All of a sudden, his irons are fire again. And this is the kind of course where it kind of takes his awful driving out of play. He can just hit some fairways, use some irons.
Yeah, and you're probably not even counting it, but he seemed pretty sharp, too, in that team event. At least on the weekend.
Yeah, that's where it kind of flipped for him. Yeah. He played with Louis, and all of a sudden, he was striking irons.
A lot of... Zach and Kisner, defending champs. The game fits it. Duffner, he's just been sneaky.
He was only good at the Players because he gained 8 strokes.
Because he was wearing such a cool hat.
He was second here. I believe it was the year he won the PGA Championship. This was a part of when he broke out. He went through a run of first, second, first, and Colonial was in that mix too.
What do we make of Chesson? Fantastic players.
Yeah, no, listen. Would you rather bet Chesson Hadley at 45 or he's struggling right now, Kevin Kisner at 45?
I don't think I'm betting either. But maybe Chesson.
Okay. Would you bet Scheifele at 40?
He's another guy. We're flirting 80s, 100s. He hadn't been really annoying. Has a fantastic Players. His first time at the Players.
Played well at Heritage.
What a player. His first time at the Players, fantastic. His first run at the U.S. Open last year, fantastic. He wins the Tour Championship his first time out.
Okay, who's better? Bryson or Xander?
Depends where we are. Here, I'm more inclined for Bryson.
I think Xander can navigate around these thin fairways as well.
Well, he's another guy. He hits it long and straight, and if he just wants to take that game here, he can have the same shots that Rahm's having into the greens.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think I'm going to bet Bryson. I don't want to miss even. I don't like the number, but he can win here.
Brooks and Bryson seem like good places to start. I'm going
to take one of these top guys. I think I might end up taking Fowler at 20, but let's get to the guy who everyone's betting this week. How about that? Emiliano Grillo, 50-1. It opened at 55. This number will be down to 35 by the end of the week, so get it now if you want it. This is a perfect course for him. He hits every fairway. He's an excellent ball striker. The putting's come around. The form is in form. He plays well at these shorter courses. I was shocked to see him open at 55. I thought they just would have given him the web treatment and just overvalue him to the point where no one wanted to bet him anymore.
I got a 50. I played it.
It's 50 right now as we talk. It might change by the time.
He is one of the 2 bets I made before we recorded. He does everything Webb does. He's got to hit the putts.
And he's actually putting quite well. He even plays...
He's putting better than I even give him credit for, which makes me more confident in wanting to back him as hard as I want to back him. Because
every time Griot ends up being like the play of the week, he ends up just being awful. Awful. It happens every time.
I feel like someone in my feed, people were messaging him last night because he made a comment about how he's excited for the week. People like hit him up with like how he's winning, like community people.
Yeah.
Which is funny in and of its, well, that's a side plot. And he like sort of replied with like the monkey face covering his eyes emoji. It's also funny because I feel like we've all been here. When I refer to complete strangers on the internet, even though I don't think they're strangers, as like friends, and then my wife will probably like friends, or my actual friends will be like friends. Like, what do you mean? Like, sorry, so like internet friends.
People I communicate with.
Yeah, but in some cases I feel closer to them than like, I don't know, my friends who I speak to like once every like 3 months, but they're like lifelong good buddies of mine. So I get caught there where my wife shames at me, and she doesn't like when they have my home address. She thinks they're going to send something. I'm like, no, only good things come in the mail, sweetie.
1 second, just back to Hadley for a second. First in strokes gained approach.
Everything right.
Over the past 50 rounds. It's not bad.
Long term. Remember with Webb?
Yeah, no, I know.
You don't just, like, you can't just stare at those first 24 rounds. Double it up. I said...
This is going to be an interesting week between allocating my outright bets versus my DraftKings. Because I want Spieth on DraftKings. I'm not going to bet him.
It's a rock and a hard place, too, with Hadley, because I feel like we're in this middle range. I rarely feel like this is a number for him. It's usually really shitty fields that he's at, and we're like it's like a 30 or 25 or 28. Or it's the real super strong fields, and he pushes the 100.
Whatever happened to Kyle Stanley? Where's that guy?
Maybe he didn't get invited.
He made the FedEx Cup Finals last year. He won the Memorial last year. He should be in this field. It'd be a good spot for him. I don't know what to do with Hadley yet. I'm still trying to figure that out.
He's got to gear up for his big defense next week then. Kyle Stanley, that is.
No, Duffer won Memorial. He won the National. Which was the Quicken Loans. I think.
That's the one with like the trophies, it's like in DC, right?
It's in DC, yeah. Well, it's at TPC.
It's the one Billy Hurley won.
I think it's at Potomac this year.
It's when Billy Hurley won. It was a cool story.
Yeah. That's when his like dad was missing. It was a really bizarre story.
Yeah.
So we're both in on Griot. Everyone's going to be in on Griot. I'm going to talk to Raza tomorrow on the DraftKings show because he's setting up to be like the fade of the week on DraftKings. Like he's going to be like, I don't know if the pricing's not out yet as we talk, but he's going to be like $7,800 or even like $8,200, and it'll be like 35% owned. Although last week, if you played all the chalk, you won a lot of money.
Griot, yeah, no, I see that fear, but again, from the way he's been playing,
I'll just bet him outright, which I have done.
With the outright perspective, if he flames and misses the cut, and everyone is like, I hate him, he's a loser, Friday night Twitter talk because he ruined your 6-6 lineup. Whatever. I have 50-1. It means as much as Leishman coming second to me. Like, yeah. So I'm all over that. You really think this thing drops into like? Yeah,
I do.
I guess
everyone is betting.
It's more so like the liability, the books at the end of the day. Why do we have so much liability on Griot?
Yeah, it's like why is everyone betting
a golf tournament?
But like even when they put it at 35, people will still. Because it'll get to the point where people will get FOMO with it, be like, oh shit, if Griot wins, all I'm going to hear about is how everyone was right that Griot won. Now I need to take it at 30, and people will take it at 30.
You know, the 6 or 8 or 3 or 10 people you follow.
They're all high-fiving each other. Yeah.
No, but I just mean like if he's a consensus pick.
Which he will be.
You're going to sit on this. Yeah. No, I see what you mean, how he could still. Come Wednesday night when every tout is saying, play Griot, he's going to be 35-1.
Yeah. So I think it might be an outright bet, maybe a fade on DraftKings. Like I said, I'll talk it through with Roz on Tuesday's show. Next bit of guys after Griot. Nah, coming off another good week, 55.
Always a
Hostler,
great
55. Week. Hadwin, 60. Louis, 60. Stricker, Kirk, Palmer, Harmon, 66-1. Then you got like Cam Smith, Piercy, Keith Mitchell withdrew, so he is not on there anymore. Just withdrew. Ollie is 75. Sneds is 75. Knox 75. Watney, Hoffman. Sabatini's won this tournament before, by the way, and playing really well. Like, shockingly well for Rory Sabatini.
Does anyone want to bet him, though?
I mean, maybe. I might take out like a top 10 on him.
He is playing. He is showing up.
I think he's made like 12 straight cuts or something.
I was going to say, I'd say at least like 7 or 8 of the last 12 events, he's like a second or third page leaderboard guy week in, week out.
And he loves having a hot first round. Big on a hot first round. He's like Keith Mitchell in that sense. So from this range...
A lot of intriguing names. Can I just say, statistically, Hadwin is putting like Spieth?
Yeah. He was one of the guys I wrote up. He's 103rd in putting for the season. Has not finished outside the top 20 in any of the past 2 years in strokes gained putting. But why is that? So I was just like, it went on Fantasy National. I was like, Adam Hadwin, let's see what you're up to, Adam Hadwin. So I give him a little bit of a look. I'm like, you know where Adam Hadwin struggles a little bit when he's putting? Bermuda grass. We're back on bet now. The Bermuda swing was primarily over at this point. So he's gained, actually, at Wells Fargo and Players the last 2 weeks. He had lost strokes putting in 5 of 6 events previous to that. He's gained 2 weeks in a row at these shorter courses. So we got Valspar on there. We have WGC Mexico. And we have, where's the other short one? Oh, and the Players and Career Builder. Those are the courses where he's gaining a ton of strokes on approach. He hits every fairway. I like it. I'm going to be in on Hadwin here. Him and Griot, I'll play them both, and I'll play them both the each way. And he lost. At the Players, he came 57, right?
Blindly.
Putted well that week, made the cut, did everything like that. He's made every cut this season, by the way. He hasn't missed a cut since last year's Northern Trust, which is a span of like 16 events or something. But his short game, he lost 4 strokes around the green at the Players. That's unheard of for him. He's awesome around the greens. He hadn't lost strokes around the green since the Tournament of Champions. That was a span of like 8 tournaments. And like super high positive around the green numbers. So I like it, man. Just look at his finishes. So far this year, 3rd, 35th, 45th, 6th, 9th, 12th, 24th, 16th, 57th. And 57th, he couldn't chip.
Listen,
I like him.
His game profile is everything you mentioned in those previous winners.
Yeah. Good putter, good with irons, hits every fairway.
Now, there's a dip in the putting now, which is kind of bothersome, but I could argue it's a gift.
In his career, POA is his preference to putt on, at least historically. But in his career, he's 5 times better on bent than he is on POA.
In.
So we're in on Hadwin, 60-1. Maybe I was gonna say we could check Bodog for a better number, but there's no way they're giving a Canadian a better number than
I'm actually seeing the book out of the Commonwealth is a 50 on Will Hill, and we're popping a 60 on Bodog.
All right, let's pop the 60. Make that an each way. Here's some other names.
Does Louis
No, I'm not on Louis. Cam Smith.
He's got a star, and the guy...
Cam Smith at 70?
You know I got 2 stars.
Next to Ollie? Of course you do.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? He's playing this week, so why wouldn't you be interested in Ollie?
This course suits him, doesn't it?
I hear every course suits Ollie. The guy fucking blows. That's unfair. I would like to see Ollie do well, but he's not playing well, man. He doesn't have a finish. He came 3rd in Phoenix, 7th at Sony, and since Phoenix, he doesn't have a finish better than T34. He's making cuts and doing nothing. Losing, like he's putting well too, which is the really disastrous part. Like he's being saved by his putter.
I'm more in on Cam Smith.
Okay.
Because I feel like this track sets up for him to have an optimal week.
I think if you look back, one of the corollary courses I didn't mention, but based on some of the winners here and some of the success that these players have had at other courses,
Zurich,
the Masters. Zach Johnson, Jordan Spieth, even Rahm. Rahm shows up once, and Rahm has a good Masters track record now over the years.
Ricky's got some nice Masters.
Yeah, I think I can be talking.
Adam Scott's a Masters champ.
Yeah, now he's using a cheater putter again. No one's saying anything.
Bryson's gone off in the final group.
Adams, what?
At the Masters. When he was an amateur, didn't he go off second last then? Come on.
He made like a triple bogey on Friday. He was just playing with Phil, so he was just on TV all the time.
No. Not this year.
Yeah, the year when he was an amateur. Yeah, he was not in the second last.
What did he finish?
T27 or something?
You sure about that?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but Cam Smith was awful with his irons at the play. There's not a whole lot of disaster. He lost 7 strokes with his irons at the Players in 2 rounds. But before that, 5th at the Masters, 32nd at RBC Heritage.
Listen, you can see things through the lens however you want to see. But nothing can, as anybody that does this on any semi-regular basis, there is no easier tournament to throw out than a blow-up at the Players.
Agreed.
In terms of
Completely
looking at current form. Granted, it can help your case, or you can say this guy sucked at the Players, help you not want to pick him. Through the eye of the beholder, could argue it any way, but I'm telling you, the Players blow-ups mean less than anything to me.
Maybe I won't go on Cam Smith. I kind of want to bet Danny Lee at 90-1.
He can get really hot.
He's getting really hot right now.
2 weeks ago, he was hitting every putt.
Great course history here. Like, this is his track.
Well, he's a Dallas guy, isn't he?
I have no
That's
idea.
where he's made his home base.
Much better putter on bent than any other surface. At the Players, came 7th. Had made 3 or 4 cuts before that. Like, if he's going to heat up, and he gained 4 strokes with his irons there as well, and he gained at Valero with his irons, the putting has been there. He seems to know this course really well. 90-1, throwing each way on him. We got a stew going.
I guess. Charlie Hoffman's back, too.
I did see that. Charlie in Texas? Are we still playing that angle?
I don't know.
It seems deep for Charlie.
Always.
Yeah, but like 2 years ago, this number was 20.
I agree. Like
he had the Webb Simpson number.
He's got the same number to win as Nick Watney, as my boy Peter Uihlein.
Let's see. 14th at API, 12th at the Masters, 23rd at Heritage for Charlie. Sucked at the Players, but like you said, people
at 80-1, it seems
that's
like
really
a
intriguing
pretty
number.
Strong place.
By the way, Uihlein withdrew.
Oh, shame. Gotta save my few bucks.
I believe he did. I know Mitchell withdrew for sure.
Well, then just do me the favor and let Ollie withdraw also.
So I'll give Charlie a harder look, and my cheat sheet will come out.
Charlie and Lee, they both... Yeah.
Hadwin for sure. I'm going to give some more look to Lee, some more look to Hoffman. I gave some look to Reevy.
How long's your Sabatini look going to be?
It's probably only going to be like top South African or top 20, first round leader. Probably not an outright.
Could be sneaky on the South African. Could be.
Chris Kirk is someone who also dominates this course. You hit a big Chris Kirk ticket, and I tailed you.
Yeah,
I'll
say this. This was a number that to some was surprisingly short. Chris Kirk.
66?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be surprising. Guy's playing well, kills it on approach, and has a great track record here. What more do you want to know?
He's a form player, too. I said that about Brooks, but Chris Kirk, when he's not in form, you don't want to touch it worth anything. When he's in it, it carries a few weeks. We're not quite at the triple digits, but the guy you love, you're very confident will be under triple digits, maybe by the time people are watching.
All right, well, we'll get to him in a second. There was a few more sub 100 I did want to throw. What about C? Woo!
Played well at the Players.
Played well at the Heritage.
Played well at the Heritage.
Has not played well here historically, though. I'll probably just bet him because I bet Siwoo every week, but, you know.
It seems like a course that should
play to his
strength, keeping it
in the fairway,
accurate and pin stalking with his irons.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why he hasn't played better here. It's frankly kind of strange, but he's an auto bet every week.
How many times has he played here?
Twice, I believe.
And one of them was after he just won the biggest event of his life.
I don't know if he played it last year.
Take that back.
Siwoo's been around for a bit. Fort Worth.
I just tried to eat the mic.
Missed the cut.
I just tried to eat the mic.
I missed that. 2017 missed cut, 2016 missed
I'm
cut.
hungry. No, I had like a thread loose, and I thought I could like bite it, and that thread ended up being a microphone.
Regardless, I'm always going to be in on Siwoo Kid. He's the man.
Yeah, and it seems like we're back to
realistic numbers again.
Like, we had that huge number before he blew it. Then, like, oh, see who's in form. We got to cut it in half. And now we're back to flirting with
it takes 2 weeks. And he actually played well at the Players, too. So
yeah, he played exceptionally well.
Right, let's get into the long shots. First one leading this list, down from 141 to open. Good thing I tweeted out to let the people know that I was already in on him. With the each way, he's now down to 110 to 1, and I would imagine that his number will end up somewhere in the 80 to 1, 70 to 1 range. JJ Spawn.
Mention a few guys who run form.
He's one of them.
In the limited viewings we've had of Spawn, he doesn't just show up and go away. He shows up and he hangs around leaderboards for a couple weeks in a row. What did he put up? 2 rounds?
63, 64, I think, last week.
Yeah.
First round, last round.
And this is a course, we've spoken about it with a few guys. This is a course that suits his game perfectly.
Yeah, hit some fairways, get hot with your irons.
There are a lot of places he'll go. I don't think he'll win. Say like a Torrey Pines or something. He's a native of some of those, being California, LA guy. He'll play Riviera, he'll play Torrey Pines. Because they're local. I don't think his game works there. And he can play well there. This track is optimal for his skill set.
Agreed. And he's flashing form at the right moment. The putter's starting to get a little bit hot again. Clearly he's not injured anymore, which was good. And we talk about some corollary courses. We talk about Heritage. RSM, second place finish for JJ Spawn this year. And that leads into the other one is Austin Cook, who's still 140 to 1. Might even drop a little bit more. And even below him, Kodaira, 150 to 1. Kodaira did just win at Heritage. This is a very similar style course. Just seems like a really big number for him.
Okay.
Too much? Have I gone too far?
No, I don't think you've gone too far. I'm not really interested. There's some other players that you've kind of mentioned and some other ones we can get to who I might feel more confident could pull this off, even though they don't have PGA Tour win equity.
Bill Haas, 150?
Anybody who I'll say this, if you just like numbers, anybody who has won, they're not, well, I shouldn't say that because Landry's still poking at 125. I was going to say, I don't know. I guess they're not respecting it. Because I was going to say, anyone that wins, essentially their numbers cut in half for at least 2 months.
Not Andrew Landry.
Yeah, not Landry, not Kodaira. They don't really believe in it. Can I go back to the Wonder Kid here? 140.
Joaquin and Neiman?
Yeah.
I think I prefer him at a Bombers course. I know he missed the cut on the number last week, but that's the type of course.
I didn't see him hitting any putts.
He doesn't hit putts. He can't chip and he doesn't hit putts. He is 14th in approaches over the past 24 rounds. Piercy is the best.
He got it going late, I want to say, or
Piercy?
Just had a weekend of
No, he got it late going on Saturday. That he treaded
It's
water.
also kind of hard to quantify what we just went. Aaron Wise deserved to win. He had that killer instinct on Sunday. That course played differently every single day last week.
Yeah, I should have seen Sunday coming with the low scores after it rained. And everything just, it was like Velcro. And just hey, I'll fire at the pin, stick.
And there's no rough, even wet rough that you got to hit it out of when it rains, which is a defense at other places. Yeah, okay, where are my big check marks? They're kind of farther.
It's only really...
You mentioned Cook?
Yeah, Cook is interesting to me. Pat Perez at 110 to 1 is kind of interesting to me, too. I know he hasn't been playing well, but, good God. This guy was, 40 to 1 to win the Masters, wasn't he?
Yeah. I know there was a few weeks ago, maybe even it was Valero, people love Streelman. This is a track.
This is a good course fit for Streelman.
Let me plot it out off the tee, hit my irons to 15, 18 feet all week, and get hot.
Yeah, Perez has been awful. Miscut. Can't putt anymore.
Bill Haas's numbers just keep going backwards.
Yeah, in fairness, Bill Haas did miss the cut on the number last week. It's not like he played like shit in his only other really good tournament. I know I bet Bill Haas 2 weeks in a row. He's been a disaster 2 weeks in a row. But I bet him at Heritage too at 90, and he was close. This is guy wins.
We mentioned English briefly at a second place here 2 years ago. I don't see him winning. but could each way. And I don't know, anything for Tway and Kraft?
No, not here.
Johnny
question marks I can get behind. I don't know if I'll bet him at 175, but you talk about hitting fairways. Dude hits fairways.
So some really big numbers. There was a different time.
There was one I really wanted to talk about.
Wes Bryant, yeah, was the one.
I
mean, just because
if there's a place where he can play well, this seems like a place where he can play well. You don't need distance, driving kind of useless. Hit some irons, make some putts. Wes Bryant can do that. He's 300 to 1.
Yeah. I don't know. Nick Taylor do anything for you?
No, he does not. I have more love for like Stroud or Stewart or CT Pan.
Sam Burns, 200. There was a hype machine around Sam, not very long ago, and now it's
and he got to
win.
He got to win 200.
Too. He's a web win, but
he got a web win. But
he won, yeah.
In just terms of DraftKings scoring in this field by DK points, and only PGA events, so not including the Savannah win that he had on the Web.com tour, 11th in this field in points over the past 24 rounds.
200 to 1.
Since playing with Tiger, he came 8th at the Honda, the somewhat less than driver course. 12th at Valspar, somewhat less than driver course. Arnold Palmer, 49th, Wells Fargo, 55th. He's made 4 consecutive cuts.
Making money.
A lot of it is putting, though. But he has not lost strokes putting in the 2018 season. He's gained at every single event. He's been positive with his irons, especially on these shorter tracks. Not the best driver of the ball, but that seems to be somewhat irrelevant. We keep saying these good iron player, good putters win. Why not Sam Burns? Maybe not, might not take the plunge on like the outright, but top 10, top 20. First round leader, that kind of thing, I could do that. Yeah. I might throw $5 on him to win the each way just for the hell of it, just like I might with Wes Bryant. But no, I actually kind of like that. Dunks too, just ball striking well. I don't know if this is the type of course for him, but he's someone to keep an eye on, if nothing else. Where's it? Sam Burns. Write him down on the list there. How about your boy Ben Silverman? Top 10 at the RSM. Good putter as well. 300 to 1.
His I don't know. I got nothing.
Got nothing? The problem with these guys is there's too many good guys in this field at the top that I just don't know if Sam Burns is going to outduel them. You know what I mean?
People like Gribble last week, Duncan last week.
Duncan played pretty well. Dahmen played really well,
Martin Pillar had some low-scoring rounds.
You know what's strange? Dirt McGirt's down to 125 to 1.
Has he done it?
No, he hasn't done anything.
He's been I hold him to a different standard than other players when I quantify that he's been playing bad, but he's been playing bad.
Isn't this usually around the time of the year when he heats up, though?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, like when he won Memorial, which would be next week.
He did win Memorial.
He scores on par 4s. He's not a deep driver of the ball. He generally hits irons pretty well. I don't know if this is going to be the spot for him, but he's been brutal. Played well at Honda and Valspar, though, and made the cut at the Heritage. But has not gained with approaches in 4 events. Not good. It's just a really deep number for William McGirt, a guy that we've backed at like 80 to 1 before. That's all I'm saying. You want to get to the picks?
I'm getting myself ready, yeah.
All right, well, let's do the picks. So for me, already...
I could be ready to just make bets.
Hit me then. Hit me. What are your picks?
Oh, I just meant
you just wrote them down and then you flipped the page.
Well, I want to make sure I'm not forgetting.
I will get to the picks then.
Okay, I'm ready then.
Give me the picks.
I don't think I can resist betting Ricky Fowler.
Okay.
You will not put Webb Simpson shorter than Ricky Fowler and have me stand by and just stare at it and look at it and mock the book. I'll play it. And then it's a consortium of guys I think we really like. Brooks and Bryson. Bryson, like you said, you got to just stay there. Nothing he's done tells me he won't contend again this week. Brooks, love the form, protecting Shinnecock. You mentioned the value that he brings against like the 6 guys shorter than him on the book. Hadley, I can't commit to, but I really want to. Grillo and Hadwin, I'm in on though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if we want to go farther, Danny Lee only shoots in the 60s at Colonial. he gets hot at 90-1. I really like that.
Okay, for me, I haven't decided yet on the top of the board. Facebook.com/thepme on Wednesday. I'll have my head-to-heads, first-round leaders, top 20s, all that fun, and maybe Ricky is my lean right now, but I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger because I might just want to play some guys from this middle range. A lot like last week, to be perfectly honest with you. But Brooks, first on the board at 33. Bryson at 35. Grillo at 55. Hadwin at 60. Both those are with the each way already. I'm in on Spawn at 140 with the each way. Lee at 90 with the each way.
I got to play Spawn.
And I think I'm going to take a shot on Wes Bryan and Sam Burns. Not sure yet on the outright, so you have to check back with that. I'm going to wait for the top 20 odds to open and see where that goes. However, if you're playing top 10 or you're not playing a winner and just playing top 5, Bovada's odds are not as good generally, but they don't have the dead heat rule on Bovada. Meaning that, like...
So you can get paid up to, like, 8th, 9th place.
Yeah, so I got paid full on my Tway top 10 last week because I made it on Bovada. Where if you play like an each way on Bet365, for example, and your guy comes T4, which is great. He comes inside the top 5. But let's say there are 3 guys tied at T4.
Which is usually the case.
You only get 66% of that T5. Yeah, you would lose because the extra guy. Because technically there's more than enough guys. Now, because it's dead heat. There's no dead heat on Bovada and Bodog. So although Tway was T9 and there was 4 other guys tied with him at T9, which we chopped up on Bet365, I think I'd rather take a shorter number by like 1 or 2 points to give me the full number if he actually hits it. That's
a great idea. And the likelihood of it hitting clean. Hitting clean is really unlikely. You've stared at leaderboards. That's usually, T4 to 6 places.
Now, the problem is Bovada rarely offers T20 odds, only at majors generally. Sometimes they just do it for the hell of it. And I usually play top 5s as a part of an each way on a different site, but if I was just betting T5s, I would do it on that site. But each way I get better odds on it.
I'm not surprised that they might not even know they're doing it because this book has Japan Tour odds out before PGA Tour when I'm trying to prepare for the show. We're gonna Wentworth this bitch.
We have to do the one and done first.
Oh yeah. I had Leishman last week.
You did. You beat me. I had Grace. You beat me by 1 spot.
Does nothing because I got to make some real second half room on you in our head-to-head hundo. I feel like I've used a lot of those guys. That's the problem. Keep running into guys that I like, and
Who do you think are going to be the most popular guys this week?
In the big one?
Yeah.
Just in general. Grillo might pull like a list at Valero and screw everybody.
I think, just make your bet on Grillo. Just don't use him in one and done.
I would think, from a one and done, I don't trust him maybe to win the tournament, but guys like Walker and Scott, you might not want to play them in a month, but they're playing quite well right now.
I was looking at guys like Zach Johnson.
Yeah, no, that also
it might be a decent works. If you haven't used Kisner, no one will use him.
I don't know. I was, it's only Monday. I know Paul goes through his whole process. As you mentioned, he's in 3rd place, so he will, soak it all in until he's got to make his pick.
Kirk will be someone. Spawn will be someone.
I was
that people
pushing
use.
Bryson on just ride that form while he's sort of the calculator is clicking.
Ricky might not be a bad spot here.
Brooks could also be sneaky. People not ready to pull the trigger.
I'm waiting to see what. I have no idea where industry consensus is with Brooks this week. I have no idea because the DFS pricing isn't out yet. I haven't really read anyone's stuff so far because we're filming this on a Monday morning.
You know what? I'll just bust it. I'll take Brooks.
You'll take Brooks. So Jeff. That's who I was going to take. Now I need to think about it. I feel like I've used Bryson before.
This would be a good spot for Webb. I know people usually like him at Greenbrier.
Yeah, it is.
And now he's hot. You probably wouldn't have.
I'll use Ricky.
Hope you win.
Yeah, me too. Europe.
I'm wearing a Ricky Puma style shirt.
It is not that colorful, sir.
No, but now he goes. Some of the floral hints.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Europe.
This field seems weaker than years past, doesn't it?
That's because Rahm and Rose are...
Sergio, I feel, usually does this thing up.
Yeah, so...
I feel like Stenson's usually here.
Here are the guys that we got at Wentworth. We got Rory, Casey, Fleetwood, Noren, Grace, who just played Molinari. That's your 20-1 and down crowd. Rory's plus 7.5 to 1. Then we got Poulter, Ben Ann, who's won this before, Lowry, Dunn. Short odds on Dunn. Sullivan, Hatton's 33. Dunn has the same odds as Hatton. Hatton's back in... Hatton might win this, man.
I like Hatton. He does have a limited one here.
Hatton's back.
He's
back in Europe.
Comfort zone. Another guy I'm happy to be back in Europe, doubling up that number, Fratelli.
Yeah.
Barnrat, do anything for you?
Barnrat was second here like 2 years ago.
Oh, sneaky.
Listen, I don't have the most in-depth knowledge of the European Tour. I'm not going to lie to you. So Ashley Morrison, like I said, 2 R's, 2 S's on Twitter. Follow him. He's going to be there. And I am going to make a few stabs at this though. I think I like
Hautong.
I think I like Keimer.
Keimer. I'll tell you about...
Baroff and Wiley will talk about this more than we will too, though.
The thing about Wentworth, I love this course. It's a very classic, old school
tree line.
Like a lot of the courses we see up here in the Northeast, I feel
like it'll be somewhat similar to Colonial in a way.
Yeah, I don't know. I always even
for
like
style of player.
Memorial, like I don't know, just the rough is trouble. If you're off the path, the rough will be thick. Noren here last year just crushed it on Sunday. Like maybe even a 61. More likely a 62. I had him. It was a great win. I could imagine anyone that would have bet him live on Sunday paid 10 times more than my pre-tournament Noren outright last year. I don't know, of these what's Rory's track record?
He's won before. This tournament. He won it like 4 years
Recent winners
ago.
Are what? Noren,
Wood. Ben Ann, Chris Wood, Mateo Montasero.
So Noren, Wood, and they're pretty accurate. Yeah, you got to just be straight.
Those guys are just all good ball strikers.
Long and straight here, and you got to get, I guess it's any golf tournament, getting hot with a putter.
Do you know much about Jorge Campillo? Or whatever the hell his name is.
He keeps showing up.
He just whenever I look at Euro leaderboards, he's just near the top.
No offense, I can't bet him because
he's 70 to 1.
His outfits bother me.
Oh, really? Why?
Because there's nothing like to them. He wears like high turtlenecks sometimes. I'm just not in.
Is he Spanish or Mexican?
Spanish.
Spanish?
I'm just not inspired when I see him. Poulter's just been so hot. You mentioned Poulter and Dunn.
I kind of like Poulter, man.
It's because they've both been playing great, Poulter and Dunn, and their skill sets kind of work here.
Yeah, but Poulter won a PGA event. Paul Dunn was like, I had a top 10 at the
No, Dunn just won something.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He wasn't just like barely coming inside the top 10 in Dominican Republic?
No, I could make a mistake. And you know who I got a star beside? Because he's back here. And I don't know if this course really suits it. He sort of likes the big open European courses. Probably work better. Surrey. 75 to 1. We're betting this guy at this number of PGA events. Now he's in it's an elite Euro field.
Tani Hara? I haven't seen Tani Hara's name in a while. He's 80.
Hasn't Pepperell been contending, or he just does good tweets?
I think he just does good tweets.
Okay, that's why I see him a lot.
Which one is the Herbert that everyone likes? The Aussie Herbert? Is it Lucas or Benjamin?
I won on Benjamin is French. Because I saw that.
So he'd be Benjamin?
But what's funny is I had money on Lucas in the thing, and at least 3 times during the week, I went into my pendings to see which Herbert I had money on. Was never sure. And
informed wagering.
And one of them obviously went to the finals. What do you think? Olison's 100 to 1.
What do you think about Grace? Coming off fire in the final round. It's a long flight from Dallas to Wentworth, but like...
I'll tell you what.
I kind of like...
2 incredibly different courses.
I might just go Poulter, Hatton, Keimer. And then I'll listen to people who know more about this and then tail them after that.
Yeah, it's true. See what Ben writes about. Yeah. See who Baroff... Just let me peek. Baroff might have already put something out. I just want to see something. I know you'll just like giggle at me, but Rafa at 40...
It's a deeper number than we've been seeing.
And like
he hits it straight.
Straight.
Rob Bolton on PGAtour.com called him a world-class putter, which is just unequivocally not true. Fake news.
Hatton and Rafa, I want to bet.
What about Paisley at 80?
Yeah, he kind of seems forgotten.
Harold Varner's playing this event? Why? Is he on the European Tour and we just don't know about it?
He does some weird thing. He goes to Australia.
Yeah, he won in Australia.
For that swing. And hold on a second. Hasn't he got 2 great events or he just had a good players?
Yeah, I think he's had a good players.
And he's wearing those Jordan 3 white cement golf shoes.
You like it?
The best in the business. Fratelli, Chris Wood, he's won here, 70.
I don't know enough about it to really commit to anything, but I think I like Hatton, I like Keimer, and I like Poulter. I said I'll listen to Bear Off, I'll check out Parry's work.
Wasn't this guy...
Coley's work.
I probably missed this guy's heater's probably long gone. The Euro guys, like you said, will know more, but Burmeister at 140.
Oh, the Burmista lady? Get me out of here. I'd just be honest to God. At least when I say something like, I want to bet JJ Spawn at 140 to 1, I have like wheels turning of why I would want to do that. Besides knowing the name Dean Burmeister and that he's from South Africa and that he once played in the Puerto Rico Open and I bet him at 25 to 1 despite not knowing anything about him. I don't know anything about him.
That's pretty fair. Canadian Austin Connolly's been playing all right, 250 to 1.
I have a friend who played with, who's a really good amateur golfer around here and always tries to qualify for like the U.S. Open and everything. Hates Austin Connolly. Says the Canadian golf world hates Austin Connolly.
Is that why he's here? Like that's why he plays in
Europe? People don't like him.
Well, I'll just mention it because it's part of my brand. But Danny Willett's 200 to 1.
That's great. Good for Danny.
Yeah, I don't. We're just at least you said
we're actually just saying names at this point.
At least, like you said 8 minutes ago, when we were saying names, there was a little more behind the name.
The other two, I don't know how to pronounce his name. The guy that you won the money on this week, Otagi. Is that how you say it?
Adrian Otagi, yeah, and he's been crazy form.
He's 55 to 1. Leve is 45.
I like.
If he wins, he's on the Ryder Cup team. For sure. Like, he's locked in at that point.
Well, this is probably double points for them. Like, the players...
Is this a European major?
It's the European Players Championship.
Okay. And half of the good European players are playing the Colonial.
I swear, Stenson's always here, and Sergio usually comes here. And
Rose is always there, I feel, and he's not.
Yeah, I'm really taken aback at how... I thought the field would be stronger, and it's a very strong field.
Do you say screw it? Go with Ben Ann? Ride some form? He's been playing well.
Norton had great players, didn't he? Or there were moments of great players.
I think he inside the top 15.
And Fleetwood, what's he been up to?
I don't really remember.
Since the Masters,
I know he sucked at Wells Fargo. I forget what he did at the Players, to be perfectly honest with you.
Sucked at Wells Fargo.
I feel like he made the cut at the Players, if nothing else.
Yeah, that was the week. Yeah, well, all right.
He didn't catch Webb Simpson. He was 7th at the Players. Paul's yawning. This was not worth talking about from our end. I'll do some research on this and include it into my cheat sheet. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, Barnrat and Rafa.
Okay. I just meant in general any final thoughts, not necessarily on your...
Yeah. This Vegas hockey team, great for the NHL.
But NHL people hate it.
Hockey, if you've spent your life, giving your life, your professional career to hockey operations, this is so deeply embarrassing in my opinion. Pretending that, knowing how to build a winner, and then this Disney movie comes along. I'm also a little annoyed at a Jets Cup future, which is cursed.
It was cursed. Beat by the team that Tim said had 0 chance of winning the cup.
Recently? Or
at the beginning, he had them getting swept in the first round in his picks.
It's a Disney movie. It's like the movie Draft Day. You wouldn't even believe it.
No, it's not really a Disney movie. It's like a Pornhub short.
Whatever you want to call it. You would laugh the script out. Get out of town. That being said, hockey is the only... This shouldn't be possible in any sport. Hockey's the one sport where it's possible. Because it's just about like pitter-patter, let's get at her. Give her, get a loose puck to in front of the net.
You mean have a hot goalie?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know enough to like get into it.
I've been seeing an overflow of like Vegas fans online. I like it.
Hey,
I like that they support the team.
That is great. The NHL has built a market. Like a market almost what it took them to build in Nashville like 15 years. They did in a day in Vegas. And
Vegas was just waiting for anything to be available.
And the league, to like anyone that's kind of followed it, the league at the beginning of the process, they didn't want what happened with Columbus and Nashville, like take 10 years to make the playoffs. Like, let's try to give them a push out of the gate.
Or have the Lightning be good for 10 years and you still have to give away free tickets to their playoff games because no one gives a fuck.
But the league might have people think the league kind of overdid it in setting them up. But even after that, no, it's not like anyone thought they were going to be that good this year. And any team in the league could have gotten Fleury. They left him available for the expansion draft. You could have made a trade with Pittsburgh before, if you really liked Fleury. Instead of exposing him, we'll trade you X for him.
No, give you a fifth-round pick.
And you can expose other players. So, I don't know. Like I said, great for hockey, the league. Deeply embarrassing for people that are hockey operations.
Well, I really like the whole argument of, they've rigged the expansion rules. Where was the single person who said that last July? Whenever the hell the expansion draft was.
That's sort of my point.
I was like, this team's going to be terrible. But now that it worked, it's like, it's rigged.
They were set up better to succeed and not be horrible like previous expansion
like the
teams.
Senators were when they were expansion
but
teams.
No one, even after the expansion draft, no one was like, this team is
elite.
Yeah.
Like, this is the team. They were 200-1 or 500-1 in some spots.
Great. I don't want them to win.
I want them to win.
Actually, I don't have an opinion. I actually don't care. I'll make a bet.
Unless they're
playing, but if it's close to even money,
but I want to see Washington get into the Stanley Cup final, so Ovi can win. And how much I love Alexander Ovechkin. After Sean Avery retired, Ovi became my guy.
Is that because you can't stand like
hockey
media in this country, so you just want Ovi to get one?
And I like it. He's like the only entertaining hockey player. Like when he hit that hole-in-one, he was like, "That's what I got." He was great. Yeah, he's one of the few hockey players with any sort of personality. And I find that endearing. He's not just like, we had a great game out there, and we worked very hard, and he's just a crazy person. Just saying what comes to his mind. And, fun fact, he's fucking awesome. And people downgrade him in this country because he's Russian. If he was Canadian, he'd be already voted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, if he was like,
If he just wasn't Russian. Even if he was American, people in Canada would like him better.
Yeah,
Canadian media hates
if he
Alexander
was
Ovechkin.
from like Flin Flon, Manitoba, there'd be a stat he'd be like, but here he's just compared to Crosby because the whole draft thing. So he's always kind of a.
But I don't think that he's had a significantly worse career than Crosby has. Crosby just won cups. Yeah. Isn't Ovechkin going to end up with like 700 goals? Seems like a lot.
He's the greatest goal scorer of the generation. I don't think you can debate that.
All right. We've been touching on hockey way too much on the show. It's really starting to bother me. Not just this show. Meanie was in last week. I was talking hockey with him.
Last week. We got, because the field was
way too much hockey. Way too much hockey. Hopefully, by the time I return from vacation, it'll all just be over. Or maybe they'll dissolve the league. That works for me too.
No, the league got a lot. Like, there's air in the league's tires because of this team.
And Canada got bailed out, like the Canadian networks got bailed out because Winnipeg was still around. So people tuned in to watch that. Anyway, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Geoff Fienberg, follow him on Twitter at GFienberg17. And always follow him whenever there's a gimmick Euro event, as we figured out.
Won the Super Sixes, won this one. Gimmick Euro events are keeping me going.
That's your wheelhouse this year.
That's keeping me going right now.
All right, I'm Pat Mayo. You can follow me on Twitter at the PME, the same place on Instagram and Facebook, where I'll have my betting cheat sheet out on Wednesday afternoon. DraftKings show on Tuesday with Ben Raza. Cheat sheet will be up later that afternoon on DKPlaybook.com, just like my field and stats column, which is up right now on DK Playbook. What else do I got coming? Live chat 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the DraftKings YouTube channel for Colonial. That'll be on Wednesday. I'm gone next week, so we pre-recorded some stuff. All brand new content coming at you, so that'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, give the episode a like. Thank you for watching. Good luck at the Fort Worth Invitational. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience! Experience!